she's such a beautiful soul. She's just lost. And that I was experiencing that oneness. I could see the God in her. I could see the peace of spirit that she was and see past her body and see past the things I would usually focus on. Well, welcome back to one's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Now, tune in to the latest episode of One's Journey. Today's video, we are going to talk about ego love versus Holy Spirit love. I like to say lowercase love versus capital letters love. In this illusion, we talk a lot about the 5 love languages: acts of service, quality time, gifts, physical touch, and words of affirmation. Yeah, I had them on my screen. We often believe that in order for others to receive our love and for us to receive our love, we must figure out what their love language is. That is conditional love. When we're talking about a love language, we're saying, I can only receive your love if you give me words of affirmation. I can only receive your love if you give me gifts. And we spend a lot of time these days really trying to figure out, in all settings, a lot of works are adapting this, our personal relationships. How do you best receive love? How can I show up to give you love? But then there's another layer that you may receive love a certain way, but I tend to give love in a certain way. Again, this is ego level love because, first of all, there's a separation, right? There's multiple categories, and we know that if it's coming from a place of the ego belief system, that there is separation, that there is hierarchy. Even within the 5 love languages, I believe when you take the test, it says a point system. I tend to receive love from gifts at a higher level than words of affirmation. That right there is putting all of these conditions on it. But we're told that love is unconditional. If love is truly unconditional, then how would the love languages align with what true love is? In true love, love as capital letters love is Holy Spirit love. The way I see it is it's the love that we universally receive, and there is no level of hierarchy within it. There is no level of I receive it better this way or you receive it this way, but we all equally receive it in the same manner as one. Capital love, capital letter love, is love of the Holy Spirit. It's love of God. It's that level of forgiveness, that understanding we're dreaming and that we're truly all one. And again, I want to remind you, we're not many connected as one. When I say there's one mind, we're one projected into many. So capital letter love is truly unconditional and eternal because capital letter love knows that this is a dream and understands that we are eternal and that we don't die, we don't separate, we don't receive anything different because we are one. And oftentimes as well within the ego illusion, when we get sucked into ego level love and seeking that and providing that for others, it's always about the body. It's about the body. We express our love through hugs, through kisses, through sexual interactions. That is how we see love at the deepest level. Here's an example of the first time I really experienced the narratives that I had learned through ego level love and then this new level of love I was feeling and how do they interact? It's happened quite a few times, but one of the first times was with my spiritual mentor. I fell in love with him, or so I thought. I wasn't falling in love with him. I was able to, first of all, see myself in him. So I was actually loving myself, but it was that level of capital letter love. It was love of oneness. It was not ego level love, but because my narratives within stated, Ashley, when you feel this way about another person, this deep oneness, it is a sexual, intimate love. And that took some untying and some journaling and some deeper understanding. And even when I first figured it out, I still didn't quite understand that there was a capital letter love. I just knew that I experienced love for myself through him. And then, so fast forward even more time, and I'm continuing on my journey, and I have this friend that I absolutely love her at this deepest feeling. And I started to be like, oh my gosh, am I bisexual? Am I a lesbian? Because the love I felt for her was similar to my spiritual mentor. That was another unpacking journey of understanding that I was feeling this deep level of understanding and love with her, which is the capital letter love, but I wanted to view it through an ego lens, which translated into this sexual, intimate love. So now this happens on a regular basis, but I now understand what it is. It is not this intimate level of love. It is this capital letter love, which is feeling the oneness, seeing the God, the piece of God that person is, and expressing love at the level of the mind, which is through forgiveness. And that is how we equally receive love, not through the body, but through the mind. When you really start to go on that journey of experiencing that level of love, the way in which the body expresses love, the way in which you used to receive love at the level of the body doesn't seem to hold much weight anymore. And it's at first kind of like, WTF is going on here? But also, you remember that where you are headed is not of this illusion. It is outside of it. So it makes sense. This love I am feeling is outside of the illusion. Therefore, within the illusion, there's no need to express by utilizing the body. Today we discussed about ego love, which I call lowercase love, and the Holy Spirit's love, which I call uppercase love, the true capital letter love. The one that expresses forgiveness at the level of the mind, which we understand what that is. That's an understanding that it never really happened, that this is an illusion and we are dreaming. But also the understanding that we are one. And you are a piece of God. When I say I love someone, it's not at the level of the ego. It's at the level of the Holy Spirit. I love them for who they are. And I want to share another time that I really experienced this, and I thought it was the mushrooms, and maybe it was partly the mushrooms, but I was on a mushroom trip with my spiritual mentor again, and this woman came up to us, and she was very disheveled, appeared to possibly have some sort of addiction going on in her life, and she asked us for a lighter, and we didn't have a lighter. And this was towards the end of my trip, so I was starting to come out of the full trip and be on the other side. And I remember saying to my mentor, and truly feeling this at the deepest level, I looked at him and said, she's such a beautiful soul, she's just lost. And that I was experiencing that oneness. I could see the God in her. I could see the piece of spirit that she was and see past her body and see past the things I would usually focus on, which is, the way she looked, what is her lifestyle, all of those judgment things that are ego level, and truly connect with her at the deepest level, which I call capital letter love, the Holy Spirit love. So again, ego love is existent within this illusion, but I promise you that love will always end in disappointment and separation, because it is not love at the purest level. So say someone's love language is gifts and you get them a gift. Yeah, maybe in that moment they receive your love, but the next moment later, the gift doesn't matter anymore, right? Or maybe it's the wrong gift, but there's always opportunity for separation and for it to not quite meet exactly what that person is seeking within the illusion. So just remind yourself, I caution you to fall into the narrative of the ego love and remind yourself, what capital letter love is, the Holy Spirit love. And that's meeting someone at the level of the mind and forgiving them at the level of the mind that it never really happened, and seeing them as one with you and the peace of God they are. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I would love to hear your opinion on this topic. This is one of the fundamental pieces of this journey out of this illusion, is really getting to that place of Holy Spirit love and capital letter love. So hop on the Discord. Let's have a discussion about it. How is ego level love showing up in your life? What have you experienced through separation with ego level love? And then, what experience have you had with that Holy Spirit capital letter love and oneness? And what times in your life have you gotten confused like I have? And again, as always, until next time, remember you're worth it. I love you tons. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed this.